morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for Rogue Actions. Heinzie joining us all the way over there. Are the kangaroos keeping up the work, Heinzie? Keeping the lights on?
No, the kangaroo internet is working full steam right now, Cubs, as always. Hello, fam. Hello, everyone out there. Hope you guys are all well. Midweek. We timed it well this week, mate. We've had some new characters drop, which is pretty funky. It's nice.
We got some new characters, and we're gonna talk about them in a little bit. And I'm really excited about that. Even though I'm not the kind of fan that digs into the comics. Really, I mean, I'll find out about stuff that happens in the comics, and so a lot of these characters that are coming out right now, I mean, obviously other than Hondo, I don't really have an emotional connection to already. But I have to say, CG did a good job of getting me excited for these characters. But before we get into that, Heidi, I've got the meme of the week here. We have got not joining GAC, demoted, or scouting out your opponent, putting up a big defense using the optimal counter. Your opponent has triple your GP as usual, and you have no chance anyways, and demoted.
I had a rough 5v5 week one, actually. I had a 1 and 2 week. It was pretty wild. This Lord Vader Datacron is messing me up pretty hard right now. It's gross. So it's certainly kicking me in the backside, but it is what it is.
You got to join me on the dark side, Heinzie, where we don't use datacrons.
I know. It's a necessary evil at my level, mate. It's the way it is. When you play at that end, you have no choice. If you haven't got them, they do. It's simple as that. So
you really don't have a choice at your competitive level. And you know what? That's how you love to play the game. I'm just being sarcastic, but this speaks to me a little bit. But also, I'm kind of, for me, it's more like I should add a different graphic in here that's just like, oh, my care level is much lower than it used to be, and so I just kind of stay on the fringe of Erodium and Kyber right now.
Yeah. It's a real CBF mentality. I don't know if you have the CBF sort of lingo over there, but basically for those down in Australia, it just means can't be simple as that. Yeah.
I had an opponent message me recently. He's like, you got 6 GLs? How are you facing me? I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so burnt out.
It's tough. It really is. Jabba drop. There's not many out there. I've got mine. A couple of my opponents don't, and you have an automatic advantage. It's pretty tough sometimes, and you're right. You do feel guilty sometimes, but other times you absolutely get wiped pretty hard, and you go, you know what? That evens it out. It's karma. It comes back around. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm playing my way back up. Anyway, let's get into the reactions of these two sexy beasts. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I've never heard of BT1 or 000. Never heard of them. Yeah. But the animations for these characters, Heinzie, especially BT1, I mean, I'm salivating. They look freaking awesome and fun to play with.
It's all polygons, Cubs. It's all polygons. A lot of people are actually really, a lot of people were really critical about Ben Solo's polygons in comparison to these ones.
We could maybe contrast those and get a little negative, yeah. Because
And
who deserves better animations?
But the droids are hot. They look fantastic. The actual abilities and the graphics in them are absolutely magnificent. The detail, the quality, the finish, and the kits are just really, really, they look like they're going to be a lot of fun. They really are.
Yep. This one, I think it's, let's see here, Haywire, right? Yeah, Haywire. I mean,
Haywire's awesome. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, this is
awesome.
Up there with some of the best animations in the game.
It is. Haywire looks absolutely magnificent, and it damages you as well as your opponent, which is really, really crazy. It's absolutely fantastic. But I mean, we're chucking around the normal sort of droid type of debuffs. I mean, you've got your translation out there, you've got your dots, burning, all that sort of stuff. That's all in there in BT1. Of course, you got 000, which a lot of people are already starting to call Trip. Yep. I've seen that out and around the place.
I like that. That's a little easier to say, other than zero.
Absolutely. So shock. We get shock out of Trip, torture, of course, as well, which is reduced damage and also stops your turn meter. So it's going to be a really, really good combination, but we're going to be using it under Aphra. It's as simple as that. You're not going to be using it anywhere else. There may be some other theory crafting opportunities, but without an Empire tag, that certainly does hold back a lot of the theory crafting with those two characters. So
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if it's used out of Aphra, to be honest.
I hope we'll find somewhere, because for the common folk, and I really feel the common folk here, like I am not going to be getting Aphra anytime soon. You know, I'm going to be free to playing this, and I want to use BT1 somewhere.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, you're going to be able to use it under Sword. Yeah, you'll be able to use it under Swordy because it still has the droid tags. So Swordy, and they mentioned that in the post. I mean, Swordy seems to be the stopgap option if you haven't got Aphra or you're not going for Aphra. So you're still going to be able to use it, but it's going to be at its most optimal under an Aphra lead. That's just obvious because she programmed the damn things in the storyline. So you know, it's basically her murder bears equivalent. Yeah, they're her weapons of
mass destruction. Now, okay, so this makes sense. This is a perfect segue into our last topic here. It makes sense for these two droids to be working with Aphra, right?
Yes.
How much sense does it make for Hondo to be working with Aphra? Exactly.
It looks like Hondo's going to be needed in this team to round it out, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Originally, we were thinking, and I think I was thinking, and I think a lot of other people were thinking as well, considering the last Legacy event we had with Starkiller, how each independent character filled out a different faction. You know, like you didn't sort of have to, you know, you needed, of course, to unlock Starkiller, but you didn't need to put a team together for Starkiller. You could use what was already there. And I was under the impression that this particular Legacy event theme and style of this type of event release was very similar to that. It seems completely different in this case. It seems like that you're going to need these characters to unlock Aphra and probably use with Aphra afterwards.
Now, to unlock is fine. Like I don't really care about the unlock. You know, do what you need to do. But I am profoundly disappointed in the notion that we finally get Hondo Ohnaka in this game. Yeah, and we're going to use him with a character that, I mean, sorry, I'm just not a comics fan. Not that I'm not a fan. I don't really get into him. A character that I don't have any emotional connection to at all. And that's where Hondo's going to be used. Not with a full faction of pirates. Like, where are the pirates, Heinze? What? How are we actually releasing Hondo in this game and using him with a character that most of us don't really know that much about, and we don't have any pirates?
Yeah, I'd like to see a pirate faction. And I think that in time, Hondo, I mean, he's going to be pretty plug and play. Not quite Great Admiral Thrawn style, but he can be used in a lot of different places. He has scoundrel tags. So there are other uses for Hondo down the track, not just with this team. But it just looks like at the moment, you're going to need it to round this team out. And we may be wrong. We'll just have to wait and see. But certainly it's really interesting that we don't have a pirate faction. I would have expected Hondo to be released with a pirate faction.
At least the tag, right?
But don't forget that we've also still got Bad Batch coming up next year, you know, and we're going to have a bit of stuff in there. So, I mean, there's still time to bring it. I'd like to see Hondo come back into the Bad Batch or something like that, somewhere around there. And we could get it still down the track. I think we do need a pirates faction in the game for sure. Absolutely.
Are you just telling me to be patient?
Subject to change, mate. Let's just leave it at
Dad. I want it now.
Subject to change. I haven't said it for a while. But I think that in the short term, I think you'll use Hondo with it. Unless some crazy theory crafting anti-galactic legend team comes up that Hondo's needed in. If we find something like that down the track, well, that may be the case. But I think at this point in time, unless there's another character down the track, and I don't think that they would release another character because they would just make it part of the requirements, you know, if there was something else. So I think Hondo is kind of a lock in there at the moment. But we just have to wait and see.
All right. Well, I'm going to call the shot right now, CG. Please, 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 please do not sit on Hondo and leave him in this team. We deserve a full faction of pirates with Hondo. I do not want to be using Hondo with Aphra. I just don't. That's not how I want Hondo. It's not like this. Come on. Anyway. Hondo's such a fan favorite. Like, this is... Aphra's like, you know, you got a niche crowd. I'm sure there's people out there who are stoked about Aphra. I'm sure I got people already typing angry comments like, Cubs, Aphra's amazing. I love Aphra. Like, okay, good. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't. But Hondo, anyway, even in the lore, Hondo doesn't really, to my knowledge, interact with Aphra that much. Even in the comics.
Bringing a pirate faction, it's easy well food. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, if you're bringing a pirate faction, There's 4 more characters there to fill out that faction that people
Yeah.
will absolutely farm and invest in. There's no doubt about that, because there is that real affinity for Hondo. They want him to be better than, one of the better quality non-GL lineups out there, given the opportunity. So there is certainly room to put it in. Absolutely, there is.
Why not make them the next Inquisitors? You know what? Just go ahead, shove them down our throats. I'll take that more than I'll take the Inquisitors. I'll happily take that.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more on that one. I'd like to see Inquisitor level interest into a pirate faction in this game. Absolutely.
But maybe better than Inquisitors, though, right?
That would be even better.
Yes. And no, I mean, we don't have any Grand Inquisitor equivalent character, because Hondo's got to be the guy. So
Hondo would be that. I mean, that just makes sense. Hondo is the main man. He leads the pirates. So,
Hondo should have been a legendary too, but whatever.
Mate, hey, he's in the game. I'll take it.
I agree. I'm not going to complain too much about that. So
we've been asking for years. Be careful what we wish for. We've been asking for years. We got him. It's great.
I'm such a whiny gamer in this video.
Could he be better? Absolutely, he could, but we got him, and that's a win. And now it'd be nice to build something around him to bring out his full potential.
I just want to see him used where, he should be used, which is with pirates. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let us know if you agree, or maybe I'm crazy. Maybe the best possible use for Hondo in your mind was always having him with Dr. Aphra. I would love to hear from you. We got another video. Link is down below. Go check it out, Heinzie. We're going to jump over there, and yeah.